Hello, Rhetoric 102 class. I want to show you how to document a work from a website in your Works Cited page. Now, this assumes you're using MLA format, which I'm not requiring. You can also choose APA if you want, but most of you, it turns out, are using MLA. So what I did is I went to the Norton Field Guide of Writing, page 455, and found this advice, which I think is really good, about how to cite a website. I'm only going to talk about websites here because your first validity essay 1 only talks about websites, right? Now, if you want to do this with APA, you can find the right page in the book and follow that. Let me just go over a couple of examples here. I think it'll be pretty quick. Say I found this article from the website Slate. Okay, well, we know first I'm going to start with the author. It's Josh Voorhees. So I'm going to type Voorhees Josh. I'm going to go back and forth a couple times to make sure I spelled it right. Yes, I did. You see what I'm doing here? Author's last name, first name, period. Awesome. Okay, title of the article in quotation marks. Title of the article is usually pretty easy to find. The economy added fewer jobs than expected last month. Now, if I copy and paste that, obviously it's going to be huge and it's going to mess things up sometimes. Now, you notice after you paste it, sometimes in Word, you'll see this little thing pop up. I can choose just paste the text and it won't make everything look crazy. Awesome. I need to make sure there's double quotations around it, and I need to make sure there's a period at the end inside the double quotes. Again, I'm following exactly the example I have. Even where they put the quotation marks, where they put the periods are on purpose. Okay, now I need the title of the website, period. Well, what site is this? Well, it's called Slate. Great. I'll put that in italics, Slate, period. Sponsoring institution is sometimes slightly more complicated, right? What in the world is a sponsoring institution? What I always do is go down to the bottom of the page. Often I can find something there. Well, look what I found. Slate is published by the Slate Group, a division of the Washington Post Company. That means that I have an option. Yes, folks, citations are sometimes optionally, you can do them one way or the other. There isn't always a 100% right way. I'm sorry to break your mind open like that. I could say the Slate Group for the sponsoring organization, or I could say Washington Post Company. I'm going to go with that one because it seems kind of bigger, right? Now you notice I'm not this in italics because on the example there, it's not in italics. Awesome. Then a period and the day, month, year that it was posted or last updated. Let me see what they got here. It was posted on the 7th of September, 2012. Okay, so 7 September 2012. You always shorten long names of months. Now your book, again, will tell you exactly how to do that. Then a period. Now this seems awkward right here, but it really makes a lot of sense. You're saying, here's the small scale, there's the article title, then here's the slightly bigger place where I find that article, and it's in italics, and then here's who posted it, who's responsible for posting this, and the date that the person who's responsible for posting it posted it. Okay, don't necessarily need to worry about that. Because I got it on the web, you're always going to type web, and because things on the web sometimes change, you're always going to say the day that I got it. Well, I happen to get this on the 7th of September 2012 as well. So anyone reading this will know, even though there's two dates there and they're both exactly the same, they'll know that this one, that's only separated by a comma from the folks who what's the word, the folks who sponsored it, we know that that's the date that they posted it. The date at the very end is the date that I, the writer, found it. I don't need to put the URL. It's optional, MLA says, but don't even worry about it. Just leave it at that if it's searchable. If someone can search for this article and find it, you're done. Woohoo! Let's move on to slightly more complicated. What if I go to Wikipedia? Now, if I'm starting with the author, like it says, well, who's the author? There are a billion authors here. What in the world? Leave the author off. Instead, I don't need to say anything like, no author, I swear. You know, just drop that. Pretend the author isn't there because the author isn't there, and start with the name of the article. Sound, in this case, is the name of the piece on the larger site, Wikipedia. Great. Who's the sponsoring institution of Wikipedia? Well, again, I'm going to go to the bottom and I'll probably find it. Oh, look at this. Wikipedia is a registered trademark of the Wikimedia Foundation, Inc. So I'm going to type Wikimedia Foundation. You can always leave off things like Inc. and Co. and small letters like that. MLA makes that very explicit that they want to know. You want to signal to readers where you got it. You want to signal to readers who the sponsoring organization is, but you don't need to make it super, super long. Give as much information as is necessary and no more. Okay, whatever, Windows. Now, what day was this last posted or updated? Well, Wikipedia article, that's kind of complicated. Oh, luckily they tell me here at the bottom. This is for people like you. 25th August 2012. That's the version I'm looking at. So I'm going to say 25 August 2012. I got it on the web, and again, I accessed it today. Sweet. That is totally done, totally fine. Say I've got something on Newsvine. Now here the author isn't a name, it's a username, right? It's not like this person woke up and their parents said, "You shall be called Ventrolock." Well, no, that's what they chose, but that's all we got. We don't know who Ventrolock is, so we're going to say that that is the author. How do I spell it? Again, I'm going to be really careful in spelling it right. Ventrolock. What article did Ventrolock write? Ventrolo is offering a wide range of sash windows on their website. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to choose that right one to make sure I only get what I want. Period, quotation mark. What site did I get this on? Well, it's from newsvine.com. Now you have an option here again. I've heard some people say you should just say Newsvine and leave it at that. That's fine, fine, fine. Some people would say, well, no, it's .com, so you should call it newsvine.com. Either is okay. I don't care. So who hosts Newsvine? Who is the sponsoring organization? That's always the next question. Newsvine is a property of NBCnews.com. Interesting, right? So I'm going to say NBCnews.com. What day did NBC News post this? And we know they didn't post it, but we know ultimately they're responsible. It was posted, oh, look at that, today again. So, 7 September 2012, it's on the web. I got it on 7 September 2012. One more. Say I have a plain old blog. We can tell this is a plain old blog partly because it's on blogspot.com, where anyone in the entire world can start a blog. There's that moment where I'm like, wait, it doesn't tell me who wrote this. What am I supposed to do? I might have to poke around a little bit. Oh, about me. Now, this person only identifies herself as HMC. Well, that's what we're going with then. It's by HMC. Now, which of these, is this post called superhero or is this post called redefining normal? If I poke around a little bit, I can see that actually there's a single post called superhero on a bigger blog called redefining normal. Don't get those mixed up. Make sure you always know what the smaller name of article is for this quotation marks thing. So it's called superhero with an exclamation point. Because the post ends with an exclamation point, I'm not going to end another period after it like that. That would look weird. We'll leave it like that. We're good. We got the post. What's the name of the blog? Redefining normal. Now notice they use quotation marks there, so I'm going to use them as well. Redefining normal. I'm going to end it with a period, but I'm going to put the period inside quotation marks. That's what we do in the United States. In the UK, some other places, you'll see it differently. Okay, now who is the publisher here? Ooh, we're getting kind of complicated, right? This is just some person posting pictures of her kids dressed as a superhero in his diapers. Weird, right? Yeah, it's kind of weird. But it's for her friends. It's for her family. They all want to see how cute he is. But there's no publisher, right? This isn't posted by NBC News. It's powered by Blogger. But Blogger isn't responsible for the content in the same way that NBC News is responsible for the content on Newsvine. Therefore, there is no publisher. So when there is no publisher, I'm going to type in period P period for there is no publisher. Sorry. And then I'm going to move right on and say what date it was posted, the 13th of August, 2012. Now don't miss that. When there's no author, like with this Wikipedia piece, you saw that we just left it off. We didn't say anything about there not being an author. Publishers are different. If there's no publisher, you make sure that the slot stays there so people know, hey, I didn't forget to add the publisher. There isn't one. This is all completely responsible by HMC, whoever that is. Once again, I got it on the web. Once again, I got it today. Sweet. Let me show you one other option. If you're like, this is all too complicated, I can't do it. It's not complicated. You can do it. But if you feel that way, you have websites like Bibme, which one of you recommended to me. Thanks so much. There are tons of sites and programs you can download that will help you make citations for you. I am absolutely in favor of them. You may use these now. You may use them in the rest of your class, whatever you want. I do not feel like you learn some important character building by doing what we just did. I personally think it's easier to just type it out, but you might not feel that way. So let's say you go to a site like this and you're like, okay, I want to get the citation to the Slate article that Josh Voorhees when we did it first. I'm going to copy this URL. On BidMe, you see there's all these different tabs here. If I go to website, I can just paste this in, and it's going to load the info for me. Now, what I really like is that the site, before it gives me the MLA citation, it asks me, okay, is this stuff right? Do you have all the information? Well, sometimes it grabs good stuff, and sometimes it doesn't grab exactly what you need. Now, what's the page title here? Now, they're pulling the title from the tab title up here. But actually, the title of this article is "The Economy Added Fewer Jobs Than Expected Last Month." So here in BidMe, they didn't quite get it right. I'm going to select all of that, delete it, paste in the correct title, the one that looks like the main title of the page. I don't know what happened there. Website title, Slate Magazine, Politics, Business, Technology, and the Arts of Slate Magazine. You do not need all of that. Remember what we did over here? All you really need is Slate. Again, that's what MLA generally says. Go for the short version if you have a short version. So I'm going to delete all of that except for Slate. So again, when I'm using a site like BidMe, I want to go back and double check. Sponsor publisher, they couldn't figure it out. Now we figured it out. We know who it is. It's the Washington Post Company. Or remember, there was that other option too. I'm going to type Washington Post Company. They didn't find that either. They didn't realize that came out today. So the month was September, the day was the 7th, the year was 2012. Who was the author? It's a person. Okay, now let's hit add to my bibliography and see what it comes up with. And what we find is that when I go up here, we see not quite the exact same thing. We didn't have the author. Oops, I forgot to type the author's name in here. Oh, well, that's my problem. But is everything else right? We have the title, we have this, we have where it came from, the day, web, this. They add the URL at the end. You don't need that. Drop it, cut it out. So maybe BidMe helped me there, right? It put it in the right order. I didn't have to worry about the right order. And then if I had another professor who was like, no, take that same information and give it to me in APA, you could spit it out in APA as well. I think that is the real advantage of a site like this. Use it if you want, create an account if you want, use another thing if you want. It's all fine. I'm going to leave you with that. Happy citing. Bye.